What's up? We got The Flash Season 1, Episode 14, Fallout. So this episode starts off where the last one left off, where we see Barry and Caitlin rushing out of the explosion. So then they just think that they have radiation on them, but then it just goes like, yeah, there's no radiation on you guys. So they decide to go back, and they discover that this separation test was a success. Ronnie returns back to his normal self, and Stein is just there asking for a change of clothes because Caitlin asks, he's like, what is? Looks at Ronnie and is like, what is your name? And he's like, Ronnie Raymond, and then they kiss. But so Stein's like, I think he needs to have first clothes, and then it's like, nice to see you in the flesh again, Professor Stein. He's like, we're going home. Yeah. 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 So, back at Star Labs. Cisco and Ronnie reunite. Yeah. And for some reason, Ronnie tells Dr. Wells that Caitlin told him what happened to him. Off screen, of course, because they couldn't tell it on screen. So he's like, hey, it's not anyone's fault why he's in this predicament. But we all know he's faking it because he's Reverse Flash. So one day Mason Bridge decides to approach Iris and say, hey, is there anything going on at Star Labs? And she's like, yeah. Mason Bridge decides to approach Iris at Central City Picture News and decides to be like, is there anything going on at Star Labs? And she's like, no, why? And she's like, because do you think Dr. Wells is something's up with Dr. Wells? And he's like, Dr. Wells is a good man. He saved Barry's life. And he was like, Barry wouldn't have needed saving if Dr. Wells hadn't have turned on the accelerator. Good point. So she was like, hey, he did it on purpose. And she was like, and he's like, did he? And you're saying that Dr. Wells intentionally created a particle accelerator, turned on the particle, knowing that it would blow up. And he's like, yeah, I agree with this guy. This guy's a jerk, but I agree with him. Oh, yeah. This guy's a jerk, but I do agree with him. So yeah. So then, what happened is that, so Barry sends Stein to close. So Stein and Ronnie are, fighting about how he was the one in control of Ronnie's body and how they had to sit over a bridge eating garbage, and which sounds gross, but ew. Ronnie and it's just like weird. And it's just like So he keeps calling him Ronald when he calls him Ron. He's like, it's Ronnie. But he keeps calling him Ronald anyway. So the army wants Firestorm for General Island wants Firestorm for some reason. I'm guessing to still make human weapons like he attempted to do with Grodd and all the other people. Yeah. So anyway, here I got my tripod. But anyway, back to the Barry brings Stein to Clarissa, but when Barry returns back, Joe's like, where were you? And he's like, hey, he had to deal with something. And he's like, I need something. And he's like, he brings him back to his childhood home. And he's like, hey. And he shows, and he's like, hey, he's like, let's go. The blood, and it discovered that it was yours. And he's like, that can't be true. He wasn't even downstairs yet. He's like, not kid you. This you, as an adult Barry Allen. The one that's sitting right beside him. And he's like, this. He's like, OMG. So he goes to talk to Stein, and Clarissa reveals that Stein now likes pizza, but he never liked it. But yeah, because since Ronnie and Stein were merged, Stein is now getting Ronnie's love for pizza, even though prior to the merging he didn't like it at all. Now that he and Ronnie were fused together, his body has now adapted to what Ronnie likes, which is pizza. So we see Caitlin and Ronnie, and they're talking, and Caitlin just is talking to Ronnie about season 1, episode 8, and about the boomerang thing. Remember that? And he's like, hey, we need to get away from all this. And he's like, what? And she was like, her job's here. And he's like, hunting meta-humans. And she was like, ever since Barry became the Flash, she's felt like she could do more than just be a doctor. So yeah, but then the army shows up, tries to attack Ronnie. Wells goes to visit Eileen, and Eileen reveals that when Betsy and Susie died, when he shot Betsy and Susie, and Barry revealed he didn't see Eileen, and Eileen saw Barry's identity as the Flash. And now he knows about Barry's identity, which I kind of get why Barry was kind of dumb for doing that, but I get why he couldn't see that Barry shot Eileen shot Bet, but he couldn't. But he also couldn't see that Eileen saw him as a Flash before. So Eileen. So Wells knocks out, puts something in Stein's drink to knock him out, and has the army capture him. For some reason, I'm just like, why Wells? Why would you do that? Does Eileen have something on you? I have no idea. But he's like, maybe, just as I said, Wells is just evil. Yeah. So yeah, but anyway, back to the episode. So they decide to, since they're more linked than they realize, they decide to, Ronnie decides to cut Beware on him. I said Beware, but it says Where on himself, and he says tap, and Stein just keeps tapping Morse code. So Barry goes. He and Ronnie rescue Stein. He and Ronnie have used the quantum slicer, right? And now Ronnie's in control while Stein's just in his mind. And they just firestorm up. Yeah, so Ronnie's in control while Stein's just in his mind. Like he can just hear Stein now. So yeah. So Barry gets attacked by like this, but he's able to he runs and defeats it. That's what. So yeah. So after that, so Barry said, Stein and Ronnie successfully unmerged, so they can just touch hands and then remerge and then unmerge. So yeah. Then they just fly off because they know they know something that's Stein. They know like a person that Stein knew in his college days. So he just blasts off and he says, "Godspeed, Mr. Allen," and blasts off. So then Barry's like, hey. He tells Joe that him knowing he's gonna lose is his advantage. So he's gonna go back in time. Now he knows how he can save his mom. So then, yeah, knowing that he's gonna lose is his advantage. So and that means he's destined to fail. But this time he's not. So Joe's like, you're gonna go into the past, and he's like, yeah, he's gonna save his mom. So then we see Eileen, and he gets reverse flashed. He gets speeded out of there by red lightning, and Eileen's like to the reverse flash, who are you? And he's like, who is he? And he reveals himself to be Well. And he's like, well, Harrison. And he's like, I protect my own. So he's like, oh gee, and he's like, oh, he's like God. And he's like, no, not God, and gets flung around and gets attacked to end the episode. So Eileen is missing because of Well. So Wells, yeah. So yeah. So yeah, and also Iris is now, like thinking about Well. Yeah, Joe thought that Wells killed Barry's mom, but Barry's like, Wells had nothing to do with his mom's death. But he did, because he's the one that killed her, Barry. Why is the show written so oblivious? Why is everyone so oblivious in this show? And now Joe's like, he knows that Wells didn't kill Barry's mom. But anyway, that was it for this episode. I'll see you next time when we review more of The Flash. Zoom.